Hello, and welcome to another episode of RBE Talk with your host, Guda. And today, this episode, we're talking about scarcity. Hey Siri, define scarcity for me.
Scarcity means the state of being scarce or in short supply, shortage.
Thank you. So scarcity and the market of the current world we live in all around the world. What reality is items, their scarcity isn't directly attached to their value, okay? And what's happened, which this was like the concept of capitalism, is that, everything has a value and you can trade that for this other thing and get it, or money, and gold was worth this much, paper money, and all this, right? Okay. But now we have things that are just normal things that they just have all that, like toilet paper, for example. And they just make it at a rate, they know people need it, and they just goes on and on and on. But then you get speculators involved in the situation. And what the speculators do is they artificially enact scarcity on whatever it is they've decided to prey on that day. In 2000, I think it was like 2000, late 2007, 2008, it was oil. So there was all the oil, there was no oil shortage, but there were speculators, and they were dumping all their money into oil and buying up oil and all this stock market stuff they were doing to oil. And it just ran the price up. This is happening today with wood, lumber. So there is private investors that are driving up the overall value of lumber, making lumber more expensive. So nobody's making any more money in the supply chain that deals with lumber other than the part that can be speculated upon by the stock market. Okay? So this is where we are today. Is scarcity isn't necessarily reality. The De Beers Diamond Corporation has been playing this game for, I believe, centuries. They have artificially inflated the value of diamonds by basically hoarding them. So there's a lot more diamonds, but they just hold on to them, so the price is a lot higher. So there's a lot other gems that are a lot more valuable that aren't technically as valuable because of the market influence, right? So really, you never know if the value of the thing is associated with its actual scarcity or not. So what a resource-based economy does is just removes all that, okay? And we have actual use for things, and we have not use for other things, right? So if you take an example, product obsolescence, okay? So they literally are building almost everything to fail eventually. Like, they build a new iPhone every single year, and they do shenanigans with the software to make the older ones not work as well. And I've been called out for saying product obsolescence online as like a conspiracy theorist, but I literally read the book. There's a book called Product Obsolescence, and I read it, and it was written in the late 40s and published in the early 50s, right? Right after war, right when they were designing our current world, right? And the whole book was how, you can't just technically go and build what we have our technical ability to build right now, because nobody's going to want to buy or need to buy another one if that one lasts forever. Famously, light bulbs. I mean, there's literally a organization that sole purpose is to make sure all the light bulb companies are making light bulbs that fail, right? So, and this is all capitalism. Okay, so, and then you add into all that the actual administration of the society, and just the how the products get divided and what it takes to do all that. And what it takes to do all that. So here's like everything in the world, like all the things, all the elements, all the products, all the things we need, all that right now. Okay, now here is the infrastructure to divide it as we do today. Okay, so we have this much stuff, but then we have this, and just to kind of help you wrap your mind around what I'm talking about is think of all the people in the grocery stores. Think of all the people, think of all those little card swipe machines everywhere. The card swipe machines, some places have just rows and rows and rows, card swipe computers, you know, to do all this, right? And all those machines and all that technology and all the electricity they run and all that is this controlling this, okay? So our society controlling the standards has or controlling the products distribution has outgrown the products by probably over double, okay? Especially when you actually think about what we really need and what we really want, and then just all of the garbage, right? Just the endless growth of products that are going to break that end up in the waste stream that just is landfilled, okay? And it's bigger, okay? So in a resource-based economy, none of that happens. Now, here is a wonderful example of how we can build a world where every single thing is built with no product obsolescence. Everything is built to last forever. Or if it isn't going to last forever, it's built to be fixed, recycled, and replaced easily, okay? So there's a YouTube channel called Wintergotten. And this is one man's vision of a musical instrument that the entire world is collaborating on with him to make this thing a reality. And I'll just let you go check it out. But the point that I'm making here is how the entire world is collaborating to build things. Collaboration is far superior to competition. Okay, we bring the world together and we're like, okay, we want this, you know, for instance, cell phones, you know, there should be, you know, maybe a couple different sizes and maybe, you know, some options, but like in the manner of phone blocks, which is a brilliant concept of phones that can be upgraded and you know, everyone should be building their own phone. There shouldn't be a plant in anywhere that's just people sitting there doing phones all day, right? We need to make manufacturing more decentralized. And, you know, like with the advent of all these 3D printers now, like people can literally go to like a community center. Like, you don't like, everybody doesn't need the ability to build a phone in their house. I mean, we having community centers around the world that, oh, here's a community center where you can go build a phone. Here's a community center where you can go do lapidary rock work. Here's a community center where you can go work on cars, and that's the world. And you're ever online in giant forums where very intelligent people are working through how we're going to set up manufacturing that hardly uses humans at all. What products we're going to build. Right now, when you start to think about just the sheer amount of junk that gets pushed down humans today, if you thought about if just everything that's going to be produced went through a process, do we need it? Do we want it? Because there is a difference there. And there's nothing wrong with not needing something but wanting it. There's nothing wrong with that. We have the ability to literally give everybody in the entire world a cell phone like almost tomorrow if we would stop building all these point of sale things, right? So you just think when you go out shopping all day at all the stores, all those, right? And every single one of those are all just a little cell phone, right? So like literally there's enough materials, raw materials in those devices for literally everybody in the world to have one, okay? So this notion of scarcity, this notion of what really is scarce, what we really need, well, all these things become just simple facts when you inventory the planet. And I'm quite literally talking about inventorying the planet. Google has been doing this with their Google Maps, okay, and getting a good solid inventory and what do we have and what's going what where, and then we can have a true baseline for resources, right? And then moving forwards, okay, what do we need? What do we want? Not everybody needs to have everything at their house. A lot of things can be community-based located where people go and get them and then return them and then, do a little maintenance on them or whatever. And this cuts down on the need for stuff. And now everything in that community center was built to never break or to be able to easily be fixed, replaced, right? You start to think on that level. We have that ability now. And, almost every single thing that we have in this world today was created on a computer, is designed on a computer, is thought of computer in, except the systems that run our planet. We don't have one system on the entire planet that was designed since hundreds of years ago. So there has not been a system that has been designed by computers. That's what a resource-based economy is. It's run by blockchain. Everything is literally fair. It's just fair because the bottom line of a resource-based economy is human health and not profit. So when you run a planet with the goal of having healthy, happy humans, you're going to get a whole different result than what we have now, which we're running a planet for profit. The capitalist system has requirement for infinite growth. We need to have more and more and more people buying more and more and more stuff, and that's how the system continues, right? But the planet we live on has finite resources, okay? And it's pretty obvious we just love to waste them and to pollute with them and just so. This is a blueprint, a resource-based economy, and there's a whole playlist of how we can actually switch from what we have now to a resource-based economy. And guess what? It's not war. Resource-based economy is going to be a shift from the past, which was war, which was the only thing that people thought was the only way to change, to a resource-based economy in way of transforming humans' culture through education. And no, I'm not talking about re-education camps. No, I'm talking about just getting everybody educated and going through the process of building what we need that doesn't have product obsolescence. Having a planet where scarcity is actually tied directly to whatever it is actual amounts on the planet, and not just some market that has placed this value or not value or whatever it is on these resources. Okay? So, if you like the video, hit a thumbs up. If you dislike the video, hit dislike twice. Subscribe. Peace. Subscribe, thumbs up, and peace all at the same time.